first, Bonnie Blue, the porn star famous for bedding 1,000 men in one day, faces 15 years jail after being arrested in Bali. She arrived on the Indonesian island at the start of Schoolies and made no attempt to hide her intentions.
Those that are going to Schoolies and to those that are barely legal, cannot wait to meet you, and I'm in Bali, so you know exactly what that means.
She has since been arrested along with 17 men while allegedly filming content. Now, as you can see, the men, 15 of whom were Australian, weren't too keen to show their faces. I can't imagine why. It's being reported that Bonnie Blue may be prosecuted for allegedly breaching Indonesia's morality laws. And if found guilty, she faces a fine of more than $500,000 and a prison sentence long enough to make her rethink her career choices. Then again, maybe not.
So if I had my way, I would criminalise most of what you do, and you wouldn't have all this money, right? So obviously on a personal level,
gangbangs in prison.
Bonnie Blue was banned from Australia last year after inviting barely of age school leavers to have sex with her so she could post the footage online for money. Indonesia, none too impressed, Freya, and why would they be?
Well, I think it's so funny how Westerners go to Bali and they forget that Indonesia is 87% Muslim. And in 2022, they enacted morality laws based around Islamic values that ban even things like sleeping with people outside of marriage, cohabitation before marriage, let alone what Bonnie Blue is doing, which is full-scale pornography production. And she's advertising it. So I can see why the Indonesian government was not too happy about that. I think she was completely naive and foolish to think she would be able to do that. But in many ways, Bonnie Blue is the end result of the sexual revolution. Sex has become just an act like any other. It has been turned into a commodity that you can buy and sell, and there is no moral value attached to it anymore. So are we really surprised? No. Do I support Islamic morality laws? No. But am I happy that someone's finally standing up to Bonnie Blue? Yeah.
So you'd like to see her in the slammer?
I think it'd be pretty funny, and I think it would deter copycats, because that's the other problem. All of these young girls are now seeing how much attention she gets, and we're giving her attention right now, which is frustrating, but she makes headlines because she is so extreme. So people have to know this is not okay.
But she could do it somewhere else where she's not going to get arrested, right? Which is what she should have done in the first place. I'd make 2 points. One is Bali should probably understand who its clientele are. So if you're going around making laws saying that you can't shag people you're not married to, I mean, what do you think people go to Bali for?
But that's not the law. The law is you can't produce pornographic material. There's a big difference.
Yeah, no, but there are other rules around sex as well. But the other point is, if you go to a foreign country, you play by a foreign country's rules. You know, Chappelle Corby, the Bali Nine. I mean, the Bali Nine I always found so strange because Australians were so upset about it, and these men could face the firing squad and the death penalty. Of course, some of them have indeed. And it was all, woe is us, how could this possibly happen? But, like, if you try to run drugs into a country where that's what they do to people who run drugs, you know the risk you're taking, don't you? Just as if you go to a country where it is illegal to make pornography, surely you know you are running the risk of ending up in jail.
She not only knew the risk, because don't forget she'd been deported from Fiji as well. Now, Fiji's not an Islamic nation, but they also deported her on public morality grounds. So she knew very well going to Indonesia this was going to be a problem, and yet she posted on social media, as we saw, advertising what she was doing. So this is just flagrantly throwing it in the face of authorities and dare them to take the kind of action they have taken. I think she should be jailed for this. You can't literally go into countries boasting about how I am arriving here, I will break your laws, and then complain when they hold you to account.
I suspect she probably won't be. I mean, they'll let her go and tear up her visa and say you can't come back for 10 years or something like that. But you know what? She got the publicity out of it. We've talked about it. what more could she ask for?
The one punishment the Balinese government should enforce on everyone involved in this is they need to publish the names and photos of all the men that they caught producing the material with Bonnie Blue. I think that would be punishment enough.
That's unfair.
And you would very quickly deter anyone else from participating in Bonnie Blue's antics.
But that's getting a bit Puritan, isn't it? That you should have your name published because you had sex with a woman?
No, but aren't they cooperating in the production of pornography as well?
Yeah, and they're being investigated for violating the law.
Yeah, we should note those men were arrested but then let go. They might be brought in for questioning later, but at the moment it's only Bonnie Blue who's believed to be facing criminal charges.
I suspect when they get their hands back on their passports, they'll be out of Bali, quick, smart, and maybe next time take a holiday in Australia instead. You know, go to Queensland or somewhere, which is quite nice at this time of year. You don't have to cross into a foreign country to have a nice holiday in the sun.